Global markets have now calmed after senior US officials sought to play down risks of a military conflict between the US and North Korea. Both US Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, they wrote that the Trump administration would continue to seek diplomatic resolutions with Pyongyang in a piece published in the Wall Street Journal on Sunday. Well, for more on geopolitical concerns and how they're shaping the markets this summer, I'm joined by Mike Ingram of BGC Partners. Hello to you, Mike. Thank you for your time. How much of a driver is this war of words, this spat between the US and Pyongyang that we've had?
Well, it's very clearly impacting markets, hasn't it, Katie? I mean, we went into this episode in summer-thin trade. We'd seen cross-asset volatility, in many cases at all-time lows, particularly on cash equity markets. To some extent, it was an accident waiting to happen. So, of course, when we had the fire and fury comments from Donald Trump, via the Twitter sphere, it really shook up some markets, and you'd had a record short speculative position in VIX futures. So a lot of people who've been basically short of risk were absolutely hosed. So really no surprise that a lot of people got lifted in that environment. We saw volatility spike and we saw markets take a dive. Having said that, as you mentioned, reassuring words from Rex Tillerson, reassuring words from also the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the US, Joseph Dunford, and I think significantly also from the South Korean President Moon Jae-in. So a lot of actors really working hard to try and calm the waters. Risk assets have certainly noticed that, and of course I think you probably spotted that some of the more Asia-exposed stocks within Europe also doing extremely well this morning. But of course, the one big caveat, as ever, remains: we are one tweet away from yet another reprise of the market volatility that we've seen very recently.
Mike. Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the issue at the moment, is that we're all on edge and we're all watching our Twitter feed, just waiting for the next 140 characters that could change the market sentiment in seconds.
Well, exactly. I mean, I think the world, many people in the world are worried about North Korean access to nuclear weapons. I'm more worried about Donald Trump's access to Wi-Fi.
How important is China's role in calming this? Because they also played a big role too, because they are going to get involved with sanctions against North Korea.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to be involved, haven't they? I mean, they're the main economic sponsor of North Korea. They're also the regional power. Some people would say, actually, it's in China's long-term strategic interest to keep the US off balance, really to push hard against what was originally an Obama policy of a pivot towards Asia. They're saying, well, China's saying effectively, well, this is our geographic sphere of influence. We've seen it in terms of disagreements in and around the South China Seas, and clearly the Korean Peninsula is a flashpoint. Having said that, China is very mindful if there were an attempt at regime change within North Korea, then you would have a huge refugee crisis on the southern border of China, and also the prospect of a unified Korea under South Korean leadership is also something that China would not want to see. Presumably, you then see US military bases on the border with China. So China needs to tread a very careful path. It was quite interesting to note in the last 24 hours, the US has ratcheted up the rhetoric in terms of the trade imbalance that it has with China. In fact, it's tasked its top trade official with investigating trade manipulation once again. So again, it's started to ratchet up the pressure, and there's been pushback in the official press, including Communist Party mouthpiece Xinhua. But as I said, it's a very difficult balance to actually achieve, and the stakes are extremely high.
All right, Mike Ingram, thank you very much indeed for your time. We always appreciate your commentary. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching.